Hello everyone, welcome back to Home and Away with Candy. I hope you're staying warm today. Today is Friday, January the 23rd, and here in St. Louis, it is 11 degrees outside with a very cold wind chill. So let me know where you're from in the comments. I love hearing where people are from, where they're joining us from, and whether or not you are expecting any of this terrible snowstorm that's coming. I believe Snowstorm Fern might be the name. You can correct me if I did not get that right. We're expecting, throw a dart at the board, anywhere between 5 to 11 inches, I think, starting sometime during the night tonight. My friends and relatives down in Tennessee are really preparing to get hammered, especially with I think a lot of ice in the forecast for some of those areas, and that is no fun at all. Ice, you can't do anything. Snow you can eventually get plowed out of, but the ice you just slip and slide, and it's just, there's nobody going anywhere and no power. So I hope you're ready. Grab some hot chocolate or coffee, because today we are going to talk about Valentine's Day. And I received this card in the mail today, and it just brought so much joy to me. This is from one of my nieces, or I call her my niece. She's technically not my niece, but my first cousin's daughter sent this to me in the mail, and it just says, "Happy Valentine's Day," and it has a precious little note on the inside about how she enjoys watching us here on YouTube. So make a card. You don't have to have the fanciest of materials. This is beautiful with all of these gems. I can't wait to show it to my daughter when she gets home from school, because I think she's gonna love it. And just brighten someone's day. Send a card. So that's what we're gonna do today. We are going to talk about Valentine's Day and just what you can do with a little bit of patterned paper. Maybe if you don't have a large selection of patterned paper, I do have a small selection to choose from of small pieces in my Etsy shop. Let me get this one out of the way and I'll show you just what I'm talking about. So this is last year's Stampin' Up! Kind of Valentine-ish paper that they had on their in their catalog. So just lay that there. And if you are not familiar with Stampin' Up!, you may not know that the back side has another piece of paper on the back. And so this is, I think it's As Cute as Can Be, might be the design series paper name. I'll flip them over so you can see the back side. Very cute. This is Old Olive and Petunia Pop are the main colors here, and I have used these a lot. So if you wanted to grab a small pack of design series paper, I have several on my Etsy shop, but I'm going to show you an example of some cards that I've done with these, and I think they turn out super cute. This is a bundle of cards, so I've got to put that back together. This is also the stamp set With You in Mind that is still available on Stampin' Up, and this is just a circle punch. I've used the sticker paper technique that we did the other day to create this running border. This one, I just used some Petunia Pop ribbon to come across my division there. And then just some segments of the paper, created my own design paper, if you will, with this and the flower stamp from With You in Mind, and the little greenery that's on there. I have a little sheer white ribbon underneath that, and I just think they just turn out so cute with those papers. So you can get this, like I said, on my Etsy site. I have a few others as well of retired papers from Stampin' Up. So what we're going to show you today with these other current Stampin' Up! Papers have all been made with just one pack, just like I showed you there, of 4x6 papers, one of each paper. And all of these, including today's cards that we're actually going to make yet, have all come from that one segment, this little bundle of this paper. And I just think that's amazing that if you mix and match your cardstocks with your different shades of color, and use your design series paper, your scrapbook paper that you get from Hobby Lobby, whatever you have, do it strategically. Use the scraps to make this little tiny divider here. Use the squares. I just think it's so great how we can be creative and come up with our own unique designs to show somebody that we care and bring them some joy. And so now I am going to get this out of the way so we can talk about today's cards. So today we are going to do two different fun fold cards. This one, we're not going to use these papers, but these are ones I've done in the past. This was a fun fold where we're going to do some fancy work here on the edge. And then this one is going to be super fun as well, where we're actually going to create a triangle here in the corner to put the flap under for our front of the card. So let's get started. We are going to start with this card. I'm going to set it up over here so I can see. I don't know about you, but it helps me to visually see what I'm supposed to be creating. I'm also going to use the Fabulous Sayings stamp set. This is the current January, I'm going to call it a spend and get. I don't know if that's Stampin' Up's technical term for it. That's what we call it. Norwex is your spend and get. This is $5 if you spend $75 on a purchase in the month of January. Plus, we are also in bonus days, so you will get some $5 certificates as well with that same purchase that you can use later, which is fabulous. And then we're going to get to our card measurements here in a minute. First, I want to kind of prep my stamp set. And I saw, I don't remember where I saw it. It was one of those Facebook reels about how to, prep your new stamp set. If you recall, the old stamp sets had this inside, which was nice because you could place your stamps on the case and you could figure out, oh, my happy birthday stamp is missing. I should go find that. And I will say, that happened with, it was either this heart or this flower out of this, and I finally found it. It was just the good Lord showing me where it was, because there's no way I would have ever found it on my own. That it was down underneath my desk and in a place that it just wouldn't have been good to find. So we have, this is how it comes, the new stamps. Sorry for the loud noise if that came across. And we have kind of this little bundle here. I'm going to just gently put it across. This is just basic gray. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just for your own reference for if anything is missing. And then, you can do it wherever you want. You're just going to lay it down. Smooth it out, and then carefully lift it back up, and now you have your own printed, or stamped, I should say, reference for what should be in that bundle. So I thought that was a great idea, because now I can see what is missing, what isn't missing from this stamp set, especially if little people are around. Things tend to go missing when there are little people around. I just got a chill. I am crafting in my basement. My craft room is down here. It is a heated basement, but with it being 11 outside, it's struggling today. So where do you craft? Do you get to craft in your bedroom maybe, or maybe it's in a upstairs bedroom, spare bedroom, your basement, your dining room table? That's not a bad place. I like to keep my stuff out a little bit. And so that that creates problems for the dining room. So, all right, now down to business of creating our card. So again, we're going to make this card today on our fun fold journey into Valentine's. So I have some pieces pre-cut and some not pre-cut so that we can do a little bit of all the things. I'm going to be using this paper today, and it is, you know, double-sided. So we're going to use a piece from the other side that's already been cut off, and I'm going to trim this down to a 4x4 piece. And move that out of the way. All right, so it's already 4 inches this way, so I need to line it up right there. And don't discard this, we're going to use this. So if you'll see, this is 4x4, then cut the banner tails. So we're gonna see how that goes once we get to that piece of the action. All right, this is a Poppy Parade. This is the inside border. I'm gonna start with a white card base today. This one is blue. This is, I believe it's the new cloud cover in color. But I'm actually gonna do a white card base today. And this white is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/4, or 5 1/2, sorry, misspoke there. And we're also going to score it at 1 1/4 from the center. So I am going to get that lined up over here. So this is, here's 1, and so this line would be 1 1/4. Make sure I've got my scoring blade here, and we're just gonna give that a good score right there. All right, set that out of the way. We have our 4x1 piece. I've got some gray ink. And then we have a 1 1/4 by 3 1/4 that we'll use for our sentiment. All right, so let's prep. Oh, and I need to cut, go ahead and do that now. A white piece for inside that's 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Get that lined up. And I'm an advocate for trying to cut from scrap pieces when you have little pieces, but I did not have any that were the appropriate width. I have a lot of 2-inch pieces left over from my Christmas cards, but I needed a bigger piece than that. So here we are. All right, what should we start with first? Well, let's go ahead and do our fancy folding. So we're gonna go ahead and do this in half. And I didn't quite get my score. Sometimes that happens. I don't like it when that happens. I was really careful, but oh well. And then we're going to fold this back just a little bit. Don't crease it too much, because we're still gonna need it to lay flat. So with your adhesive of choice, mine is the AdTech roll. We're going to give that a good little adhesive, and we're going to press that down. So there you have your fun fold. We're going to take our 4x1 piece of design series paper and put it over here on the spine of the card. And just a few little pieces down through there. Kind of get your margins lined up. If you don't push down, you might have a little wiggle room, and press down. Now, if you want, you could have added some fun ribbon around. Just put some adhesive on the back side, the front, and wrap that around before you adhere your piece to your card. So that's just a fun little ribbon that Stampin' Up had that I used on that one. All right, let me get this off here. Now we are going to put our 4x4. And you can choose, you know, the red color stands out to me. You can make that go whichever direction you want it to go. It really doesn't matter. So whatever design series paper you're working with this design, make it work for that. All right, let's smooth that down. Now next, let's go ahead and do our inside. It's just real simple. You don't even have to do this for the inside because it's white. You really don't need it, but I think it's gonna just kind of make the card pop and just look a little bit sharper. Okay, we're going to adhere this right here to the inside. There we go. All right. I mean, guys, that's a cute card just the way it is right there. I'm just saying. That's a cute card. All right, so here is our sentiment. This is 1 1/4 by 3 1/4 because I am going to use, where is it at? Oh dear, I've lost it. Pause. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, found my sentiments. I had laid them up like I normally do somewhere where I wasn't supposed to lay them. That's life. That's me. So I need to get myself a Stampin' block. And here's my happy birthday that I was missing earlier. I use it a lot. If you do not have a variety stamp set, I highly suggest this one with you in mind. That's still available through Stampin' Up. It is just phenomenal in covering all of the things that you need to say. But that's not the one we're using. We're using Fabulous Sayings from the Spend and Gets. Let's see. Let's go with, should we use, I think, should we use Real Red? You could also use Flirty Flamingo. Let's see. If we use this for, let's try Real Red. And actually have a Real Red. Just got it the other day after using Cherry Cobbler for all my Christmas cards. It was getting a little bit low, so I'm just going to lightly tap it because this is a brand new, very juicy, as you would say. There we go. I've got good coverage there. Ink. So there we go. Sending love. So we've got our stamp, and now we just need to cut our banner. So this is how we're going to put our little banner on our sentiment. So we're going to take our little scissors and kind of figure out about how deep you want to go. I think probably right there for me. And cut in the middle, and then you need to know your snips of how they're going to behave. So that side's a little bit deeper than the other. There are more precise ways to do it, but this is an okay way. Since we have room, you can go a little bit deeper and try to get this side a little more centered. Yeah, it'll be all right. There we go. How cute's that? I'm going to put my adhesive on this piece so that I can make sure, actually make sure I'm up here in the camera view, that I'm not going to put adhesive on places that I don't want it to go. Okay, I'm going to scoot it down. Gently press, especially if your ink is fresh. Might want to press it from the back side. That might be from the stamp. So we're going to put this right here. Another fun thing you could do is if you have some dies or some punches. My sister-in-law gave me this heart punch, so that's what I've used here. I do have the die set coming, but it's not here yet from Stampin' Up. You could put a heart behind this. That's pretty cute, I must say. I have some more Poppy Parade here. Is that gonna be the right color? Should we do real red? Let's do real red. Let's see if I have any open. I just restocked, so I haven't got this open yet. So again, this is a Paper Studio punch. So that came from Hobby Lobby. Go get one when they have their stuff on sale. Get that back out of the way. That's cute, y'all. So now let's put a little dab there. Push that down and let's raise this heart up. Now, I come from a family where we don't waste things. So when you are getting low on your Stampin' Dimensionals, don't just throw it away when all you have is the border left, because that's not a good use of your dimensionals. Take your scissors, and you can, go ahead and snip the whole thing if you have time. Raise those, snip those up so you can raise up your card. I could have even cut that one in half. All right, get this on here where we want. Sending love. Give it a good smush. And let's see if I can find some jewels, as my daughter calls it. Let's see, there's a few that would work there. Ooh. Maybe some of those. Let me get this better into the view for you guys, sorry. Ooh. So look at this. I have this, this is also Hobby Lobby. I got for 62 cents. I was going to make some nurse cards, but look at there. There's some hearts. Well, we got to use those. All right. So I'm going to maybe put that one right there. And maybe this little guy down here. I think that's enough. I don't think it needs any more. You can disagree, and that's fine. But that's what we're gonna go with. Put my jewels back in here. Sending love. They're not exactly the same color as the Stampin' Up colors in here, but you know what? They're red and they're hearts, and I think that is just fine. So there we have our fun fold card, sending love. You can write your sentiment. If you wanted to put more design series paper in here, you totally could. Put your maker's mark on the back, and you are good to go to send out your Valentines. So I think that turned out super cute, guys. All right, get my pack of real red paper out of the way, and let's move on to our second card. Get my Post-its moved out and ready to do this one. So here we have our fun fold, and I'll go ahead and open it for you so you can see what it's like. So this pops out, voila, and you can write your message to the person in here, and I just think it's super fun. This is an Enjoy Today from my other most favorite stamp set, which is Labeled with Love. This was probably my first Stampin' Up purchase, was this stamp set. The second one was the one I got from Julie. But this one has been great. You may be able to find it on Marketplace or eBay or Etsy. I believe it is retired now, but it's a great one if you can find it. We're going to use some more of the current Valentine paper, which I should have looked at the name. It might be Made with Love. Not exactly sure if that's the real correct name for the design series paper that we're using. I've got some pieces cut out here. We're going to use some hearts from that punch that I just showed you. We're going to cut this page down. We're going to cut our white down. We're going to do our card base out of Poppy Parade. And we're going to use the stamp set Reason to Celebrate. We're going to use the Happy and Valentine's Day. So we're going to get that going here. So let's start with our card base. Get all of our little pieces so we don't lose them up here. All right, so I have already cut our piece of Poppy Parade to 4 1/4 by 11. We are going to score it at 5 1/2, which is this big long line down the paper trimmer. And oh, and if you guys haven't seen the announcement from Stampin' Up, they have a new apparatus that is coming out, and I haven't gotten to look at it or even explore yet. I believe I can pre-order it before it's available to our customers, but it is basically going to help with positioning, is my understanding, with the cards. So that's kind of exciting, I think, for us card makers. But I love my paper trimmer. I love my Stampin' Up paper trimmer so much, as long as I look at the right measurements. That's what usually goes wrong. So we're going to cut off 2 3/4. So if you look here, I am on, here's 2, and then 3/4, 1, 2, 3. I'm on that line with my score line. So I'm gonna cut my trimmer right there. Boop. So now we have 2 pieces. Don't throw this away. We're gonna use it. So there we have our card base. Let's see, I believe we needed to also cut some more paper. We need to cut this down to 4, which is already 4 across the top. So we need 2 1/2. So let me do it this way. Let me get my paper off there. So 2 1/2. Oops. No. See, hold on, guys. I want my hearts to be sitting like this. So I need to cut it 4 long ways by 2 1/2. I knew that wasn't right. So I'm going to do 4. And we're going to cut off this piece that I messed up with. 2.5. Right there, right? Nope, that's 2 1/4. Double check. Measure twice, cut once. Isn't that what they say? I think it's what they say. All right, there we have that little piece that's going to go right there. And then hopefully, yep, this is 2 inches this way. And we're gonna cut another little 2-inch square off of it, which you can use these little squares to make a different card. Oh, that's not exactly 2 inches, is it? Nope. But that's okay, because I had to cut the paper different, but it's still usable. We are just going to go ahead and cut it on the diagonal. Maybe we'll use this piece bigger. Yeah, this piece is bigger. So let's go ahead. This is 2 this way. It's 1 3/4 that way. Two, 1 3/4. Yeah. Let's just make it a square. And then we'll cut it off. Maybe it'll be big enough. If not, we can choose a different paper to be our corner piece. We'll go back to this one if we need to, because it's bigger. All right, card making is all about letting your creativity come to life. And I think that's the fun part about it. Problem solving. That's what we just did. All right, and we need to cut our white. I don't know why I put the trimmer away. We need 4 and 4 by 5 1/4. So this is cut to 4 1/2. So I'm actually going to need to trim this down to 4. And I think I've mentioned this before. I like to start my blade away from me and pull it towards me. That way I'm pulling my paper against my stopping point of the trimmer. Because if not, it pushes the paper away from me and sometimes will give me crooked lines if I am not holding on to my paper appropriately. So we need 5 1/4. Move my sticky because it's right in the way. Might need to move it to where you can read it. 5 1/4, and then another one at 4 by 2 1/2. So there we go, 4 by 2 1/2. And you could, of course, you know, turn this whole thing around to where you don't have to read the numbers upside down like I'm doing right now. I don't know, just being silly today. Get this out of the way. We won't be using these right now. Put them in your little baggie, save them for later because we will not throw them away. We want to use our scraps as best we can. So now all we got to do is put it together. I think it's going to be super cute. So let's start by putting our design series paper right here. It's going to be on that flap. The back side is also super cute with these hearts, and it's just a great, I think it's just a great paper. I have really enjoyed working with this paper so much. There we go. Let's get our inside put in. Just get your margins where you want them. All right, let's build our flap. Uh-oh. All right. I'm out of adhesive. Let me grab... Oh, that one's out too. I cleaned, friends, and I put things away. Do you do that? And then not remember where you put it? Here we go. I got a big box of this AdTech adhesive off Amazon for I think probably it was an incorrect price, because it was not that price after I bought it. And I think somebody might have oopsied on the price that they were charging for it. Okay, so let's get this lined up. You know, you could also make this a little bit bigger and use, here it is, the Happy Valentine's Day stamp. If you made that just a little bit bigger, you could utilize that there and it would be super cute. Let's go ahead. We only want to put adhesive on this left-hand side. So go about halfway. Oh, that's the empty one. Just a smidge there and there. All right, let's make sure we kind of have it centered in our card all the way. I think it needs to go up just a little bit. If you really wanted to get precise, you could get your ruler out. I'm going to stand up so that I can see directly over it. And when you think it's good, smush it down. All right, now let's see if our little triangle piece, yeah, it's going to work. It's going to work just fine. Okay, so you only are going to put your adhesive on the top edge and the side. So be mindful of the direction that your hearts are going. Be mindful of your adhesive. This is actually a Olfa rotary mat. The adhesive comes off of this really nicely if you just kind of rub your finger around it, and it'll peel it up. So I'm gonna try not to get my head in the way of the video. Try to line that up. There we go. Like that. Will hold your corner down. It also makes it easier for you to finish up your card too. So I am going to put these two hearts right here. We're going to stamp Valentine's Day right here. And I think I've got to decide where I'm going to put the happy. Maybe if I do that, we could possibly, ooh, I do like the, I do like that. Let me get this out of the way. I'm gonna use, I was gonna use Poppy Parade as soon as I find it. Here it is. It's in my paper pumpkin kit. We've got to get that made this week too. All right, I knew I had it somewhere. So Poppy Parade, I do not have this in the big ink pad. This is the Stampin' Spot that came with my paper pumpkin that I got this week, and I'm excited to get that video made really soon. It may end up being next week because it's already 2 o'clock, but we'll see. All right. So pushing it down is one way to do it. You can also turn it over and press down. Sometimes the Stampin' spots make it look a little bit blotchier. But that's just sometimes. I haven't figured out a rhyme or reason. I think it may have to do with the fabric that is used there. So we have Valentine's Day. I think that is just so cute. All right, now get that out of the way. And we still got to do a happy. I've got to decide how we want to do that. You know, we could just stamp it right up here on the white. I think we will. You do you, and you stamp it wherever you want to, friends. So I'm just gonna stand up again. Make sure I get it straight. All right, so should we, I think we should just pop up the Valentine's Day. I'm gonna go ahead and adhere these hearts. And let's raise up these. I'm gonna cut some more. Make some that are a little bit wider. Oops, that one's about too much. Cut that one down a little bit. I don't know where that one went. Put it in the middle. Happy Valentine's Day. I think that's so cute. Add some jewels if you want. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, we don't have ones that I was looking for there. Well. Let's see what these look like. That's too pink. Maybe. Might go with these two red ones right here. I just put them right down here in the corner. There we go. I think that is cute. Happy Valentine's Day from the Reason to Celebrate stamp set. There's this one right here. It's available in our catalog right now. So let me grab my things out of the way. These are the 2 cards we made today. All of this, like I said, from the same 6 sheets of 4x6 designer series paper, just different designs. Let me see if I can scoot all of these in here for you guys to see. So I hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial on how to make these lovely cards with this design series paper. Please like and subscribe. It's very important to so other people can see my video. It bumps it up. And I really appreciate everyone staying tuned. Stay warm. It's cold. It's cold. Be safe, and I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye.